Hello everyone, this is my CAP 6776 final project walkthrough. My project is Hybrid Information Retrieval System for Automotive Modification, Fitment and Troubleshooting. The main goal of the system is to help users retrieve relevant automated information more effectively. Specifically, when some queries use exact technical terms and others are written more like real world systems or practical questions. Something like the problem I've focused on is that the automotive information is often hard to search while using only simple keywords matching. For example, users may search for things like brake kits, wheel fitment, torque specs, suspension settings, or wiring issues. Some of those queries heavily depend on exact terminology, while others are more descriptive. Because of that, I wanted to compare different retrieval approaches and see how they behave on the same dataset. Dataset consisting of all the things. Let's see. For my project, I used the data of 693 automotive domain documents, 10 queries, and a queries file with 200 graded relevance judgments. Here is my project folder. I have data folder with separate datas, output folder with everything, and the code folder contains the major notebook, main notebook, readme file, and requirements file. Let's go to the structure inside my notebook. The notebook starts by loading and validating the data. After that, I have built three retrieval methods. The first is my BM25 baseline. The second is the dense retrieval, where I use sentence embeddings with the mini LM model and FAISS for similarity search. And the third is my bonus method, which is hybrid retrieval using RRF. And then, after generating ranked results for the queries, I evaluated the methods using P at a 10 and nDCG at a 10. After checking all these things, after the evaluation and everything, now I'll demonstrate the live query interface. Let's go to the live query and search what actually happens in the live part of the analysis. These are all the visual things and everything. In my live query interface, for manual testing, I used let's say we use something called let me give you best budget coilovers for daily driving with the occasional track use. Once we run it, we can see the results. In this, BM25 makes sense because BM25 works well with when there is direct lexical overlap between the query and relevant documents of this. Next, dense retrieval returns a somewhat different list. These results are based on more on schematic similarity. So this method can what we can say retrieve documents that talk about similar suspension goals, even if the wording is not exactly the same. Then the hybrid RRF method combines evidence from both BM25 and dense retrieval. So instead of relying only on exact keyword overlap or only an schematic similarity, it tries to produce a more balanced working ranking by combining both signals. This is the like query example that shows three methods comparatively. I think even though we compare all the things from the analysis and everything, 693 documents, or let's say this is like a small thing to test or even evaluate. But for me, adding more than 400 documents is best in every comparison for the retrieval system. If we see the evaluation section or the scores of everything, these are just the average metrics that I used before training the model or using BM5 or the dense and the hybrid system. The entire code and all the things are here. Once we get an idea of it from baseline to hybrid, let me go through the evaluation section so we'll see what actually happens and the performance results. In this, the average metrics which we can see in the evaluation of all three retrieval models, I have used at least 5 queries with relevance judgment and at least one standard metrics, and my system uses 10 queries with graded queries. BM25 performed best overall with a P at 10 of 0.46 and nDCG at 10 of 0.38. Hybrid came next at P at 10 0.3 and dense retrieval had P at 10 of 0.20. Overall, BM25 was the strongest method on the documents or the corpus I have. This is majorly because of the at a query level, BM25 was best on 6 queries, hybrid RRF was best on 2 queries, and dense retrieval was also best on 2 queries. This tells me that the automotive corpus is strongly influenced by exact keyword matching. But dense and hybrid retrieval still add value on some schematically phased queries. And just to conclude everything on BM25 dense and hybrid systems, I have this graph on the average metrics of comparing everything. To conclude, BM5 overall performed the best among all three retrieval models.